Good evening, hello, namaste. My name is Aasttha Khajuria, and it is my honor to be here to guide you through our evening together. Our time today is a precious opportunity to realize that we join together as a community. Take a good look around to the neighbor in front of you, beside you, behind you. Say hello, exchange smiles, acknowledge one another. There is importance in recognizing and walking alongside each other and allowing for different emotions to exist. We come together with the vision of equity, and creating equity is real hard work, but together we can find a path. Shaktiflow Studio is dedicated to empower individuals through movement of the body and of the mind, with the intention of facilitating works rooted in unity, equality, and change. On behalf of Shaktiflow Studios, it is my absolute honor to present their very first production, Sacred Spaces. Sacred Spaces is a dialogue about boundaries, consent, resilience, and healing. A journey into a woman's virtue, her value in our world, her choices as she navigates through those roles, and her self-expression. The intention tonight is to create a dialogue which explores and identifies the gaps in our society that divide us, and in the hopes to bring us closer together. To commence tonight's show, we have a very special artist whose performance is a reminder of the land on which we stand, to acknowledge the peoples that came before us and of their sacred connection to Mother Earth. I present to you Teneil Whiskeyjack.
Seen this all before, she has slowly fade, slowly fades good time and we wonder why. Do what we can, laugh and we cry, and we sleep in your dust because we've seen this all before.
I was so full of pain, just stuck in my head. There was no one that could get me out of it. Yes, I think the drinking was a bit excessive. Just to be frank, the drinking ain't what caused me to be aggressive. My heart has been taken over every day. I get colder to 'em. I realize need to let go expression from the get-go to 'em. To lose my cool now, baby. I've got to lose my cool now, darling. And I may act a fool now, baby. Yeah.
The girl in the green apron asks what she can get me today. Before I can wipe the white froth of privilege from my lips, I foam out the words chai tea latte, like a rabid stray mistaking poison for her own survival. The girl in the green apron asks for a name to stain inky the white casket where she will brew my bloodlines into something more palatable for seventh generation tongues. Before I can sprinkle my cinnamon dust syllables into her hands, the spice of an entire ocean settles like caravan in my lungs. My name claws its way up throat like it was thrown down a well, stepping on the heads of ancestors who drowned to save themselves from British bullets waiting at the entrance to my mouth. I try to show her how hesitation has split my tongue in two, like branches on a silk road, like veins on a tea leaf, like birthright an immigrant's dream. But there is no ground on Canadian soil fertile enough for growing both contradiction and surrender. I wonder which story she will mix into my cup. That of my father's family fishing village turned auto body laborer, or my mother's city girl university degree turned immigrant fry cook. I wonder what this chai tea will taste like now that my taste buds have grown to stand straight backed instead of plantation bent, like white picket fence. The girl in the green apron wants to know how I take my sugar. How many bodies can you fit into a teaspoon? Which canes touch salted skin before crystallizing for my pleasure? I know that it'll be sweet enough to almost mask the taste of guilt and cardamom, that the scent of cloves will travel like my grandfather's last breath up my nostrils and into the memory of muscles that never stopped aching. The girl in the green apron slips cardboard sleeve around my cup like noose. The latte sitting between us is full of compromise. My mother's bones in my hands bend around its frail neck, cradling the warmth of my indulgence and shame. These days, my mother's chai is too strong for me, but I know that even this will burn my tongue. It always surprises me when I hear that women aren't funny. After all, we know how to bend over backwards every time we are forced to take a joke. Know just how much pink you like to be tickled. Know how to punctuate your heavy breathing with the language of pleasure, even if it leaves us gagging. We have spent too many years playing the fool, dressed in bright ink colors of fear and longing, juggling too many of your insecurities, swallowing too many swords, quelling fires with our voices, scorching throats when we should be screaming. Women are so used to playing games, so used to saying yes, of improvising at your demand, of keeping the scene going, even if it's all an act. So we keep laughing, keep giving, even when we are sick of staying in character. You see, comedy taught me that a man in makeup is funny, but a woman is just trying too hard to please you. Have you ever considered that this circus has made it easier for us to look like clowns than to be the ones laughing, because laughter has never been enough of a defense mechanism when the whole world is too busy to take you seriously? Our lipstick is our war paint, and we spend every day in battle because we have to. Us funny women, we are tired of defending ourselves with bruised arms from your slapstick comedy. Tired of using our last breath to inflate your ego. Tired of our insides being made a joke. Our bodies are more than punchlines. What's too tightly wound is your fist. Our bodies are more than props to be stacked in storage after the show. Our screams are more than sound effects. We are tired of clumsy stagehands pushing us into place again. I mean, you try laughing when your insides have curled upon themselves, ashamed of their thickness, disguised anxiety as laugh lines held arms to sides, tears in eyes gasping at the joke they try to make our bodies. I mean, if anything, I am proud that women can't get over it, that our bodies remember the good parts so that we can show and tell you later, because I am sick of holding rage inside my ribcage, to be played black and white like piano keys every time that you get bored. I am sick of velvet curtains being mistaken for body bags to keep us hidden in the wings, waiting for a chance in the spotlight. I have been on stage my entire life, and it's about time I started smiling. In Gujarati, I do not know how to say that I am enough. Je suis assez. How I too wish I could have suspended myself indefinite. A goldfish girl forever, scales and skin iridescent, exhaling myself into the bowl that would hold enough float to breathe in the artificial sunrise, in the yellow garma, in the warmth of meeting your expectations of living a good life, with the hope that I would one day build a sandcastle dream that looked so much like the 9-to-5 of yours. The blood of your forfeited years that cemented the house you built around us would be the only part of me that stayed small, so long as my tanked ambition fit into glass walls for the rest of the world to tap at, to awaken on demand, to cherish instead. I learned to suck on the sour of guilt. J'ai un rêve, comme sharam lage for still I dream, and I am ashamed. In Gujarati, I do not know how to say I love you. Instead, I learn it in French class, study the way it fits unspoken between my teeth, je t'aime. I still have yet to find it a landed home, a shelf on the wall to infuse itself with the spices scents that permeate our home in this house. We do not know how to say I love you without an aftertaste. I wonder how I can love the coat hangers, the rolling pins that have no marks. I do not pass French class, but at home I master the body language of anger, of dishonor, j'ai peur, that only a child's skin can pen. In Gujarati, avec toi, je ne parle pas d'amour with you. I do not speak of love. If I do, my lips bend unwilling and fragile, brittle with the cold tongue scraping the fragments of a dialect you call home, like chipped ice to melt in your mouth into something fluid, something molten, something that once resembled a conversation you fancied having with me, the daughter you wish had built herself into dreams worth leaving an entire life behind for. Pourquoi es-tu un artiste in Gujarati? Je ne suis pas comme toi. I am nothing like you. Dis-moi, ça valait le coup. Was it worth it? In Gujarati, I am alone. Je suis seule. I try to wash your mother's eyes across the sink with the stained black ink water with yesterday's paintbrush run-off dreams, and follow as the color once more crowds down the drain that has seen too much of me to not taste all the ways that I have tried to love myself into being une fille parfaite. Sorry, chokri aram dam, and in the rest of my empty verses and canvases blank, je suis un artiste, I write, je suis désolé, miane mane maaf koro, I am sorry, I am sorry, I am sorry.
पैरों से चली चली रे बाबू तेरी छोटी थी गली गीते मेरे पीछे रह गए माथियों के नीचे रह गए गैया मेरी प्यासी रह गई रह गई रह गई रह गई रह गई छलका रे छल सिला पानी छलका रे छल सिला पानी छलका रे ओ आँख न मारी छलका रे ओ आँख न मारी छलका रे छल सिला पानी छलका रे छल सिला पानी छलका रे ओ आँख न मारी
I am on a journey learning to accept my multifaceted self. I am a woman, a child, soft-hearted but a warrior, rooted in my fundamental essence of water. Tears of pain, tears of joy, tears of inspiration bubble at the surface, ready to expose my inner depths without will. I am a lover, a provider, a grown woman with curves and flowing hair, with the veined hands of my mother and also her wrinkles creasing my brow. I feel rooted in my strength and sensuality, strong one moment, and then the next I am filled with the uncertainty of a child, reaching out for connection and comfort. Eu não ando só. I do not walk alone. As I journey down this path, I have the history of powerful female ancestors behind me, a sisterhood of strong, loving, independent women. And most of all, I carry the force of the universe's divine feminine within me. Iemanjá, goddess of the ocean and mother of all fish, comforting all living creatures in the soft warmth of her bosom. Nurturing matriarch, source of creative inspiration, in the gentle foaming waves of Iemanjá, we encounter inner peace, experience unconditional love, and are supported to express outwardly through the soul.
Iemanjá marabola yo Iemanjá o aderecer o si Iemanjá acorda aderecer o yo oromi achauereo
Through Yansa, goddess of fire, wind, and lightning, we find our strength to firmly declare our independence, our warrior's spirit, and our flame of uncontainable passion, dancing with the capacity to remove all negativity from her path through the power of her winds. Yansa embodies the wild woman within us, yearning to be set free.
Oya tete, ayaba. Oya tete omoloya, oya tete ayaba. Oya tete ayaba. Oya tete omoloya, oya tete ayaba. Oya tete ayaba. Oki balele, oki balele. Oya made, oya gambele. Oya mate, oya Camille. Oki balele, oki balele, oki balele, oki balele. Oya mate, oya Camille. Oki balele, oya coro, la ba, oya shekete.
And then Oshun, my spiritual mother and keeper of my soul, this goddess of fresh waters ornamented in gold, carries within her divinity both my best and most challenging characteristics, teaching me to fully accept the woman I've become. Ruled by the goddess of love, I am open-hearted and tender, charming and vain. In the realm of the divine, my sensuality and vanity hold the same value as my sweetness and diplomacy. My tears speak truth to the depth of my emotions and help me to connect with others. I begin to learn that while gazing at my reflection in the mirror of the divine, I am perfectly complete. So, I do not walk alone. Here in the day-to-day, I also have the bonds of an ironclad sisterhood to strengthen me when I am weak, and together we divide our sorrows and multiply our joys. I live in a circle of women, a circle of love.
I dance with grace, relieve the pain, erase the gray, another tree. I dance with grace, relieve my pain.
Like this.
I dance with grace, relieve the pain, erase the gray, another tree. I dance with grace, relieve my pain, and na na na, na 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 na. I dance with grace, I dance with grace, I dance with grace, I dance with grace. Shadows settle on the place that you left. Our minds are troubled by the emptiness. Destroy the middle, it's a waste of time. From the perfect start to the finish line. And if you're still breathing, you're the lucky ones. 'Cause most of us are heaving through corrupted lungs, setting fire to our insides for fun, collecting names of the lovers that went wrong, the lovers that went wrong. Most of us are bitter over someone, setting fire to our insides for fun, to distract our hearts from ever missing them. But I'm forever missing him. You caused it. You caused it. You caused it.
teen girl dissects a pig's heart on a bed of stainless steel and scalpel, wonders if it could have remained alive inside a body if she had stored it. A teen girl opens a compact after class, pulls up plaid skirt and meets held breath and shaking hands, trembles something like the first lullaby that ever traveled past her lips. A teen girl imagines that the universe is made of the starlight's possibility to live beyond its own lifetime and still keep entire species warm throughout theirs. A teen girl fears nothing that her body expels, for she too is a natural exorcist, purging the last remembrances of leaving men in one snip of a two-fingered salute. Everyone who has reached inside of her has burned the tips of their fingers. And what teen girl hasn't tasted herself, licked name from her palm's lifeline to heart, and spit up nothing but an answered prayer, rolled a tongue around the dark maroon of a stained jaw as she taught herself the curvature of her own story, how to hold queendom between her thighs and have it weigh nothing and everything all at once. And when they ask her why she sings to 9 planets instead of 8, she responds that labels are for fishermen who make a living of gutting on the same wharf they once dived off. And what is a love song if not the opposite of gravity? What is she if not something that is luminous in the night? Ice burning despite the maps she's been scorched from, the solar system has room enough for weak ankles and gapless columns of flesh that hold up a seeping stomach that bulges in the name of her own excess. And at 27, when she asks if the black silk garters come in 2X, what she is trying to say is that you cannot call it a pig if you refuse to touch anything but its heart. An animal needs nothing of hope to still hold out her neck like there is nobody who can take her down easy. On another Wednesday, Ed finds me on the bathroom floor. Carving my body into the shape of an apology, he laughs, says that I am only lovable when defeated, commends the way my insides have collapsed on themselves. A 10-pound difference. I love food more than a girl my size should admit. Can count the numbers on a box and equate them to happiness, love, the way starving victory tastes so similar to the binge of defeat. Ed says good girls leave food on their plate. So I swallow back my upbringing, let him watch as I twist my fork into a bow. Pushing it towards him like gift, he smiles, and my stomach contracts beneath the table. A 5-pound difference. Ed is a Renaissance man. He follows me to art galleries and poetry slams. He is my +1 to every wedding. Says he misses how I used to dance. Longs for the ways my ankles bled when I broke the mirrors that dared to show him a future without me. That doesn't stop me from letting him in at 2 a.m. to trace a 200-pound chalk outline on my bed. Girls of the flesh are never taught to fear guys like Ed. Never question the way he looks at them with his gluttonous hands and sticky fingers, eyes that grapple with throats. Girls of the flesh have long since been taught that their value lies in carcass. Dear Ed, eating was not the disorder I wanted when I met you, so do not mistake this for a love poem. This is your send-off. Just because it fits into my mouth does not mean I want to swallow it. Your words will not be the butcher knives that split the heavy from my bones. Love cannot be balanced on the needle of a scale, no matter how unsteady I walk. Dear Ed, I did it. I am still here, and I am thirsty for the life you couldn't take from me. My mother has spent too many Saturdays bent over the heat of an open flame for you to satisfy my cravings for defeat. You will not use my bones to pick out the pieces of me caught between your teeth. I will not be corralled, cut down to a size that fits more easily into the palm of your hand. Too many of my sisters have raised themselves sick, trying to be hung like pennant on this fortress that you call beautiful. I love myself more than a girl my size should admit. And from now on, you will be the only one that goes hungry.
it could have been. 'Cause I've been staring at fences these days, but they ain't gonna move out the way. And if I walk to the other side, it ain't gonna satisfy. No, I'm chasing the other side, but I know it's not what I need. And all this time I'm chasing the other life, but I know it won't set me free. I've been staring at fences these days, but they ain't gonna move out the way. I've been staring at fences these days, but they ain't gonna move out the way. I've been staring at fences these days, but they ain't gonna move out the way. Chasing the other side, but I know it's not what I need. And all this time I'm chasing the other life, but I know it won't set me free. No, no. No, no.
everyone. What you witnessed tonight has been a dream, a wish, a vision of Shaktiflow's artistic director, Shrina Patel. Having witnessed her journey through various explorations, I'm so honored to witness her dream, her vision come to life tonight. Everyone, please join me in congratulating Shrina, her team, and the community of artists who have joined forces to make tonight possible. That's some sweet sound. Thank you. Tonight would not have been possible without the support of our sponsors. Shaktiflow and the team would like to thank Savoy's South Indian Kitchen, Tyler Baker Photography, Batcheeth Films, Marmac Dance Theatre and Arts. We would like to extend our gratitude to Ardent Theatre for creating space for us tonight. And lastly, to the parents and families of our performers, thank you for your support, encouragement, and love. We couldn't have done this without you. Now for an, thank you. Now for an extra sweet special message, I'd like to call upon Camille Mathew on stage, please.
So just in case you don't know me, I'm Cam, and I've been dancing with Shrina for over 12 years. I have to say that the fire she started Shaktiflow with all those years ago has spread from Teresa and I, to the younger girls, to our guest artists, and finally to all of you today. So thank you so much for coming and being part of our sacred space. Shrina's the type of person that makes every space a safe and sacred one, whether that be her dance classes, to friends and family, to random people on the streets. She's honestly been my role model since I was a kid, and that definitely hasn't changed. The amount of time, passion, creativity, and love that she has poured into this show is unmeasurable. And I think it's safe to say that you all felt it while you watched. I just wanted to recognize that none of this would have been possible without her persistence, her hard work, and her dedication to having tough conversations. So let's bring her out right now. A big, massive round of applause to Shrina Patel! Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
Good evening. To everyone that's gathered here today, thank you, thank you, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We've had Shaktiflow, I've had Shaktiflow going for 12 years, and this is our first production. So it means so much to me. I had a vision of doing this kind of show years ago. This is a 7-year coming, this vision. And it happened after I took my first female solo trip. Something changed for me then, something that I didn't ever realize was necessary in a woman's life. But the idea to travel alone. And you know, we're told this as we're growing up, maybe a lot of you can relate to me, but we're always told, oh, you're traveling by yourself, you're a woman, okay, well, take this precaution, and make sure you don't do this, and make sure you do that, and always carry someone with you, and you know, you're doing this, and you live in a bubble of fear. And I just wanted to feel free. What is going on? And I was so fortunate that I put out this energy in the universe, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out into the world. I'm gonna travel, and I'm gonna create a safe space around me. And I'm gonna pray and hope, and I'm gonna just have my faith that all the people that I meet will also create that safe space for me. And I just had this faith that I will meet other people who just find this just as important as me. That to create safe spaces, not just for women, but for everyone, to create that safe space in our community is so necessary. It is absolutely necessary, and this is just the first step. The women that have come together to put this show together, the allies, the men in the audience, and the volunteers who have come together to support us, to put this conversation on this stage. This is just the first step. And I told all the dancers earlier, and I'm gonna tell the audience here too, you're not an audience, you're a community. You're our community. Yes! And it starts with community. It starts with all of us. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end after this performance. It doesn't end after tonight. This is a conversation we need to be having in our homes, with our families, with our friends, with strangers, with our colleagues at work. Safe spaces, consent. What does consent mean? What does safe spaces mean? How can we make safer spaces in our community? What does that look like? What do we need to do? And I hope that we can all leave here tonight and continue having these conversations every day with whomever. Just bring it up, and you'll find that more and more people are having these conversations by themselves. And it's so important to just have them out loud, because that's how we create the safety in our community. And safety for our young girls who are growing up and being these wild, free women, adventurous spirits who are gonna do some beautiful things in this world. And we need to do that. We need to create the support system for them, for each other, and for ourselves. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I know I'm gonna stop talking in a second, I'm sorry. Last but not least, I need to do a special shout out to one of our dancers who has been with me from 12 years, from the beginning of Shaktiflow, and she has been ride or die, and she's been just there with me for everything. Give it up for Camille, Mathew. Camille Mathew is going to be leaving us because she's aspiring to be something. She is a powerful woman, she's a powerhouse, she's a strong voice, and she's an advocate for women's rights and so much more, human rights, and she's leaving us to start a journey in law school. So we're so proud of her. And we like to just say, we wish you the best on your journey, and we know that wherever you go, you're gonna create that safe space, that sacred space for everybody in your community. We love you, Cam. All right, and let's continue the show.
What is a country if not a woman's body? Landlocked and drowning at the same time we reach a border when we touch. And what is a border if not a woman's flesh? The way it is porous, wounds itself and stitches back together. I was told to inhale within a rib cage that expanded in the gap between the man's fists. Told to sweat saltwater tears into swimming pools, cry quietly and alone for what is loneliness if not the space between a woman's legs. The moist air that throws itself down a man's throat, what is a man if not a woman's impending startle? Impact and ground all at once. Where else have we been told to grow if not beneath the pad of thumb? How do we reach now when we exhale from even our toes? What is a longing if not the tongue of a woman, saying her own name where no one else can hear? What is the opposite of a eulogy? Is it a number? If I say 1 in 3, will you sleep better or worse at night? Will you mourn your daughters at their birth, or the college girls getting coffee, walk faster without a street light, light a candle when you say her name, wish for something on your birthday that is more than her salvation? What is the opposite of a eulogy when every woman is a protest, every girl is a rally, every survivor is a vigil that burns like a forest fire, like untamable breath, like a spark that ignites the explosion like halo as you look down on a God that bends at their knees and begs for forgiveness. How greatly have our captors been led astray to fall from this, from the sight of us, from the heft of everything that we are, from our stomachs and our weeping thighs, our bones that once bent backwards into what you wanted of us. Who has the audacity to think that women could belong to anyone but ourselves? Dear Kesha, dear Lady Gaga, dear Madonna, I am sorry I closed my eyes and let your names fall from my tear ducts instead of my fists. Dear listeners, I'm sorry that today my feminism looks like an apology to 3 women who I'll never meet. Dear brown women, you have more in common with the moon than you think, for she too will never witness her own brilliance. Dear daughter, I am sorry that some days I am too afraid to bring you into this dying world. Dear everyone who has tried to fit their insecurities down our throats, asking us not to bite back, to swallow their fears, to give in. You will never understand what it means to shine. Survivors are light captured in bottles with broken necks. You will singe your fingertips on the tasting of us, for we are more than that which makes you full. More than a satisfied craving, you will fall silent the moment you truly see us with our spines twisted upright from the roots of trees that the gods themselves once planted for us. Every survivor is a story that you will never be able to tell. Every woman is a protest, every girl is a rally, every moment we are alive is the opposite of a eulogy. I see the men and the dirt and wonder when they last held their mothers, how their sisters cried for them in their lost boyhood, how their first love was the embrace after a knee scrape, and still I wonder how soft baby skin born from a wet and weaving womb could ever sour into knives and fingernails and fists and guns and blades and jokes. Wonder how the same sky that hangs the leaves on the limbs of a waving forest rings an ocean of the clouds for me could have left me bleeding like that. Our mothers will look down at us from the heavens and hold us up again in the streets, on the bedsides, in the alleys and the parking garages and the back rooms and the houses and the universities we are forced to call home, and we will know that no matter what you try to take from us, we will always come from somewhere made from flame and cloud alike. My name is a reckoning. This is my siren song. For every person who has lived through the shuddering of their being, the bending of their light, the parting of their stream, and come out still as whole as the day we left the womb with a war cry on our tongues. We march and we fight with every breath I breathe. On the other side of what you tried and what you did to me, I reclaim this body again and again until there is nothing for anyone else to take.
सर पे ओढ़
Ladies and gentlemen, Artistic Director and founder of Shaktiflow, Shrina Patel.